I am back with a brand new DC update. All right, now I had to laugh and do this intro simply because I had people over the weekend say I was bald and I live in my parents' basement. I think that is absolutely freaking hilarious. Both of those statements are so far from the truth that it is absolutely ridiculous. And you're going to want to stick around until the end of this video because I'm going to show you something at this week. I'm going to show you something that happened over this weekend where the Gunn crowd tried to discredit my channel, and they went down in a blaze of glory. And I'm going to show you what happened. It's getting crazy out there, and I will no longer tolerate these people at all. They're deceitful, they're liars, and they're going to get blocked left and right. But we have a few things to look at here today. There was a new still, apparently, from Superman released today. We're going to take a look at that. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the photo. And we've got a couple things to go over here. So let's get started. First up, IGN is picking up on some of this stuff as well that is going on with the DCU and just DC in general over, under Warner Brothers leadership here. And it says Wonder Woman sees only cancellations and question marks 5 years after Wonder Woman 84. So even though that movie was not as good as people wanted it to be, I actually enjoyed the movie. A lot of people did not. It definitely did not live up to the first one. Zack Snyder and Patty Jenkins made this character front and center, which has never been done before outside of the live-action series back in the 70s and early 80s, I think. And they've shelved Wonder Woman, basically. She's in the background. There is nothing even announced for Wonder Woman in the DCU. It's actually pretty freaking crazy. On that note, this actress, Jessica Green, says she will be auditioning for the role of Wonder Woman in James Gunn's new DCU. Now, the question is, are they even casting for Wonder Woman? See, this is someone who's saying that if the role comes up and they audition for the role of Wonder Woman, if they start auditioning for it, that they will be there to be a part of those auditions. This doesn't mean that they are casting for Wonder Woman at this stage. James Gunn has said nothing. In fact, James Gunn has gotten pretty quiet on social media all of a sudden. Now, this was getting passed around all over the internet over the weekend, and people were asking me if this is true. And here's what this says. It's not for everyone. Rachel Brosnahan says Superman isn't for everyone and will surely anger the same old people who don't support ideas of progress and empowerment. She warns that James Gunn warned them at the start of the project that they wouldn't have the support of half the audience, but told them that's not the better half. She adds that it's not for men and women with 60s style ideas. That's why James Gunn's fans like this idea. Guys, this is a fake quote. This never happened. There is no way that any filmmaker is going to go in to make a movie knowing they're going to piss off half the audience. Unless you're Disney going after the Star Wars crowd. That's what they've done. They like to piss off the Star Wars crowd because I'm one of those Star Wars people. And Disney does a great job at just pissing on the legacy fans. They'll sure take the money from the two original trilogies, but then they'll take that and bend you over. And Warner Brothers is starting to become like that. But that isn't. James Gunn did not go into the Superman movie saying, only hoping that half the audience is going to enjoy it. At least I hope not, because that would be a stupid business decision. There was also talk of this going around, and I do believe that this is real. So Sammy posted this. This was the first place I saw this, and this came from My Time to Shine Hello. And it says, so apparently the chronologically online director and CEO of DC Studios has dedicated a portion of his movie to showcase mutant monkeys that spam super shit online to get under Superman's skin. Possibly a reference to negative online discourse against him. Yeah, this movie's cooked. It says in this movie, this was the actual quote from My Time to Shine Hello. In the movie, Superman is frustrated by social media backlash, with the hashtag supershit being mentioned several times as really getting under his skin. Meanwhile, in Lex's interdimensional world, hundreds of mutant monkeys are shown typing furiously on keyboards, flooding social media with hate against Superman. Boy, if this is true, we are going true 70s, Super Friends goofy with the movie. And I do believe this is where we're headed, guys. I don't think James Gunn took this seriously. I have yet to see anything that says he took this seriously. I just, we're going to see what happens when this movie comes out. He hasn't come out and said this is not true. In fact, like I said, he's kind of disappeared from social media except for posting a couple of photos and stuff. He's not talking about anything. He's not talking about anything in regards to the DCU or what's coming up in the future right now. Also, going to the pictures, I love their humor. They said, breaking news, in light of recent rumors, a new Superman poster has dropped. Super shit. I laughed when I saw this. I had to share this. I thought this was pretty dang funny. If you're not following them, they are freaking hilarious. Also, Maria Gabriella de Faria confirms that the Engineer will be an antagonist in Superman. So she's going to be another villain, and mentions that the character will have some sort of internal conflict with their actions. She also confirms that the Engineer won't be naked when she's not using her powers in Superman, unlike her version in the comics. So I am guessing she's going to look nothing like she does in the comics. Again, this is what James Gunn does. He will bastardize these characters. There was talk of that the very first time we saw her on a set photo. It was one of the first photos ever released from Superman, and people were wondering if that was her suit, or people were assuming they were going to CGI the suit on her. We'll see. We'll find out shortly. Also, Forbes did a huge article this weekend on how the Snyderverse could be restored. This was a very lengthy article. I encourage everybody to go read it. And Sammy posted this. It says, if Superman flops, it could force Warner Brothers to sell DC or rethink licensing the DCU and Snyderverse out to Netflix, Apple, or others. That comes from Forbes. She said, let Zack Snyder continue his Justice League saga, make Wonder Woman 3, Batfleck movie, release the Ayer cut, restore the Snyderverse. I agree. It's time to restore it. So there is a big push to boycott Superman, and I totally support it. I'm going to go see it once, and no matter how good it is, I will not go see it again. I'm only seeing it to review it, and because my daughter and her husband want to go see it with us, and so I'm going to see it once. I will not be taking anybody else. I know a big group of people that are not going to see this, people that were excited to see Man of Steel. We are opting to skip this entirely. And it's crazy that a lot of people say, well, what if it's good and what if it is a success? It doesn't change anything. We still want to see the restoration of the DCEU to finish off Justice League 2 and 3, get the Ayer cut, and also possibly see the Batfleck film. So no, we're not going to stop, even if it's successful. So people thinking that things are going to change are in for a big surprise. So here is the photo that was released today in regards to the movie, and I think this is fake. I'm going to zoom in on this here. All right, so if I zoom in on this, there's a couple of things that I noticed. Number one, this is kind of an awkward shot. It looks cheap. It looks very cheap. The lighting, everything about this looks cheap. Maybe it's inside of a mall, but I don't think so. It kind of looks like storefronts out there in the background. So the question is, where really is the sunlight? What is blocking the light? It just looks odd. And I just said, oh, it's got to be James Gunn is just behind Lois. They just cropped him out this time. But if you look at Superman's suit here, this looks like it's AI, that this is not a real photo, because his suit is super tight fitting, and it's not like that in any other production shots. And his trunks are much smaller than they are in other photos. So to me, this looks like AI, and maybe it's not, but it certainly does. This is the first time we've seen him stand normal and not have wrinkles everywhere. It's just very weird. This doesn't look natural compared to what we've seen. Here's what I said. They cropped James Gunn out of this one. He's right behind Lois. Actually looks like an AI-generated photo. The suit does not look anything like that in other photos. And it's very, very true. Also, I got this. This was some super fast shipping. So there was basically a lottery to get these two McFarland Platinum Edition figures from the DCEU, the False God Superman and Batman the Armor with the Kryptonite. Now, the only thing I don't like about this armor with the kryptonite is that kryptonite is a solid light green color. I thought on the production stills, I could be wrong, but I thought in the production stills that was a green see-through plastic, and it's certainly not. It actually looks kind of cheap, unfortunately. But the figure itself is really cool. Both of those are. I'm happy to add these to my collection. My DCEU, at least the Zack Snyder, for Batman versus Superman, and for Zack Snyder's Justice League, I do have complete sets of all of those figures at this stage. All right, now we're going to hop over to X, and I'm going to show you what happened this weekend, and I just think it's disgusting. Before we do that, I wanted to show you guys, I'm going to refresh this McFarland Toys page to show you that here we are weeks later, and we still have the Superman toys up for sale. Still, the only one that is sold out is the Superman with Crypto. Everything else is still up for pre-order, so these are not selling out. People are not running to grab these to have these sell out. It's been several weeks now, and they still have the sale on the bundle if you want all 4. That is a good deal if you want all 4. I have no interest in any of these at all. None whatsoever. I just don't care. I just don't care. They're just not selling out. Guys, if it was as popular as everyone said, these toys would be selling out at this stage because people would be making sure they got a hold of them. The engagement is not where they think it is. All right, so here's my post, and here's actually what happened. So back when the Schuster family announced that they were doing a lawsuit about the film and foreign rights, I had made a statement in that video that if it went to court, that I figured, the jury would side on the family, side with Schuster, and that it would cost Warner Brothers a lot of money. And I made it very clear in that video that if it went to court. And everyone started, when this got thrown out last week by the judge, all of a sudden all these gun fanatics started texting me or sending me messages left and right and posting here on X and on YouTube saying, you lied, you lied, you lied. You said it was going to cost Warner Brothers a lot of money. We have audio of you lying. And I said, I've never lied on my channel, and I will never lie. Okay? And what they don't tell you is that I said if it went to court, and it never made it to court. It made it to that judge, but a judge has to oversee everything, and they determine whether something is going to move forward or not. And the judge threw it out, said he doesn't have jurisdiction over it, so it's going to go back overseas. And so he's basically washing his hands of it. So it never made it to a jury. It never made it to trial. And so they're trying to say that I lied. Now, first of all, I'm not a scooper. I'm not a lawyer. And there are certain gun fanatics out there who are trying to hold me to this standard that doesn't exist. And they're trying to get me in a moment, which is never going to happen. And after this happened, I said, people on X are disgusting. These gun fanatics tried to get me in a gotcha moment. They tried to say and pass around a video of me saying that the lawsuit against Warner Brothers was going to cost them a bunch of money. What they don't tell you is there is a direct quote in the video that said, if it goes to court. The judge threw it out. It never went to court, so it was nothing. People who pull this shit in the future will be blocked. I do not have the time to engage and deal with these incredibly stupid and deceitful people. I have never lied in my videos, and I never will. And that is a promise, guys. I'm never going to lie in my videos. I'm never going to deceive you in any way. It is not going to happen. That is not my purpose on here. My purpose on here is to give commentary on Warner Brothers based off of the things that I see. I am a review channel, and I have every right to criticize James Gunn. I have every right to criticize Warner Brothers, David Zaslav. I have every right to criticize all of that because that's the name of the game. They are not above criticism. And I don't know why the gun fanatics all of a sudden think they're above criticism. And they'll say, just wait until the movie comes out. I don't have to. I've seen enough of Gunn stuff. I know he has never, ever taken any character and portrayed them the way they're supposed to be portrayed ever. And there were a lot of reports coming out over the weekend again. How most of the very first Guardians of the Galaxy, he stole that story and credit from another author. And that keeps getting passed around. So this guy James Gunn has issues. Let's put it that way. He has some things he's going to have to basically answer for at some point in the future. And he he's not truthful. And what's crazy about this is they will jump all over me for my videos. I'm giving commentary on stuff. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a scooper. I've never claimed to be those things. So if they ever think they're going to get me in a gotcha moment, it is never going to happen. It's just never going to happen, guys, because I will never, ever deceive you guys, ever. All right. So there you have it. Another fun-filled DCU update. It's crazy now that it is April 28th, and we do not have a formal trailer to Superman. Today is actually National Superhero Day, and why not release it today? It's like Warner Brothers is missing every opportunity to release the trailer. They just won't do it, and I don't know why. It's like, how long are we going to have to wait until we get a trailer to Superman? This is a very very well-known IP. People are curious. They want to see a little bit about the movie. They want to see some dialogue between the characters. And at this stage, we have nothing. Nothing. The stuff that they've shown us does not give us any glimpse into what type of a film it's going to be. And based off of everything Gunn has done in the past, I've seen nothing that even points to this being taken seriously and that he's going to respect these characters. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I do appreciate the support. We will see you on the next video.